522. What are you cooking for dinner tonight? Well, here's Mary Bartz with Meals and Minutes, sponsored by the Minnesota Pork Board. Hi, Mary.
Hello, Todd.
How are you?
I'm good. And we have a double whammy today, or I should say a double hammy.
Yay.
Yeah.
Clever. Clever.
We are going to start with an easy honey orange glaze to embellish your glorious Easter ham. And then we'll move on to a recipe that capitalizes on ham planned overs, fettuccine and ham salad. Both recipes are from Another Look at Ham, a brochure that's available here out of the KNUJ lobby, or visit whammy.4.com for the recipes on the Meals and Minutes page. Now, if I had the power of proclamation, I would declare National Ham Week. You know, I've told you I love ham, and I would venture a guess that ham consumption on Easter Sunday is off the chart. And we know that ham is lean and delicious as is, but this honey orange glaze adds a special touch to the holiday table. Now, the recipe, I told you where to find it at whammy.4.com, is as follows. Place a 2 to 3 pound fully cooked boneless ham on a rack in a shallow roasting pan and roast in a 325-degree oven until the meat thermometer registers 140 degrees. This should take about 30 minutes. While that's cooking, mix together 1 tablespoon of orange juice, 1/4 cup honey, and 1/8 teaspoon each of ground cinnamon and ground cloves. Baste the ham with this orange glaze during the last 10 minutes of roasting. So, Todd, I have a sample for you. I want you to taste the ham. I think you'd agree that the sweet citrus glaze is a delightful complement to the smoky ham. So he's taking a dip. And this is a ham I did cook at home this afternoon. The glaze was gorgeous. It does tend to thicken and caramelize during the baking.
Ooh.
And it's just a wonderful, wonderful blend. So,
Oh, that is good.
yeah.
Oh, my.
And pretty darn easy. You know, it's ingredients I have always on hand. So
Wow.
love that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we better get on to that fettuccine and ham salad. We don't want to keep the twins waiting here tonight.
No.
So we're going to start with the ham that I said I did cook earlier. And we need about 3/4 of a pound and cutting that into 1/2 inch cubes. And as I measured it, it's about 1.25 cups to 1.5 cups. And with the boneless ham, what's nice is you can just, cut 1/2 inch slices, and I use what I call the slice and stack method, cutting the ham into 4 slices, and as I said, each 1/2 inch thick. Then I stack all 4 slices on top of each other and then cut lengthwise. Those strips are also about 1/2 inch wide, and then I turn the stack of ham and cut the strips crosswise into 1/4 inch cubes. So it's pretty speedy. Next, peel 1 small onion and cut crosswise into 1/4 inch slices, and then separate those into rings. So you can see I've already prepped that. I have the rings ready to go. Then I had about 2 to 3 whole carrots, and they were kind of short carrots, not huge. And then I cut them crosswise into 1/4 inch slices. And I cooked those just on top of the stove with a little bit of water, probably about 10 minutes, if maybe even a little bit less, until crisp tender. And you should end up with about 1/2 cup of carrot slices. Then we take 8 ounces of spinach fettuccine and cook that until it's just tender. That's al dente. And rinse and drain, drain and rinse in cold water. Because it's going into a cold pasta, we want to drain it in running cold water. So I have done that. I've also tossed it with a little bit of olive oil because I did the cooking ahead of time. So it's really a very nice consistency. They're not sticking together. And I'm going to toss in the onion and the ham and the carrots. And then the dressing is 1/4 cup of olive oil, a tablespoon of, get my bowls lined up here, a tablespoon of vinegar. You know what, I got that turned around. It's 1/4 cup of vinegar and a tablespoon of olive oil.
Okay.
See, that's what happens when I have it all prepped here.
Yeah.
And then it's about 2 tablespoons of fresh chopped basil. And with the fresh basil leaves, I wish I could tell you I picked this from my garden, but you all know that that would be an exaggeration. So what I do is fold the largest leaves over and then slice those, and then, so I have strips, and then I'm going to start chopping. And this doesn't have to be too fine. just to get a nice chop. So we will then add that to the dressing, to the vinegar and the oil that I already have combined, and then with a wire whisk we will mix that up. And then pour this over the pasta, the ham, the onions, and the carrots. It's that easy. And then just mix it all to combine. I think all we need to do now is refrigerate for 1 to 2 hours and serve it cold. Now, the fun thing about fettuccine and ham salad is that it is inspiring. It's just 7 ingredients. It comes together very quickly, but it can be a springboard for using several different types of ingredients, different pastas, different vegetables. And I made the base recipe on the air today, the recipe I just went through. But I have a salad that Todd's going to be tasting here in a minute, and I use steamed asparagus in place of the carrots. I used sliced green onions in place of the whole onion slices, and I used a multicolored rotini pasta instead of the spinach fettuccine. And in the dressing, I used basil vinegar instead of the tarragon vinegar. So it's one recipe, so many creative possibilities. And with ham as the focal point, it's nutritious and delicious. The vinaigrette dressing is light and fresh. So today we're serving the salad, the fettuccine and ham salad, on top of fresh spinach greens, along with fresh whole strawberries and crescent dinner rolls. So we have a lovely light, it could be a lunch, it could be a dinner, a good
It's a very colorful meal.
Take to the office lunch for any day of the week. So it really is very fun. So I need to dish up a serving for you, or maybe let's see here. Hang on.
Just real quick,
As
Mary.
I step away from the mic.
Yeah, no, that's all right. That's all right. Just real quick, do we really need a meat thermometer when we cook the ham? Because I always thought hams were already fully cooked.
Well, I think always using a meat thermometer is a good idea. With a fully cooked ham, you really want to heat it to about 140 degrees. And if anything, it prevents overcooking. There's nothing worse than, I think we've all had, dried out, overcooked hams. There's so much going on in the kitchen, particularly at holidays. It gets a little bit crazy. So that meat thermometer is a good gauge. So you just keep that ham flavorful and juicy, and your guests will enjoy every bite. I should also mention that there are many types of hams on the market. So it's the fully cooked hams that really only need to be reheated. So check the label or ask, at the meat counter, ask your butcher to make sure that you understand what kind of ham you have, whether it's boneless or bone-in, whether fully cooked or not, and that will determine what your final temperature should be. So the glaze that we used today was on a fully cooked ham, but it'd be great on a bone-in ham as well.
And just use a regular meat thermometer for the
Well,
ham?
there's a couple different types. I brought samples with me. This is the oven type of meat thermometer that you can insert at the beginning of the cooking. It stays in the oven. Just position it so it doesn't touch bone if you're doing a bone-in ham. It's not lodged in fat. Sometimes that's a little hard to tell. But just position it so you can read it as you open the oven, because you don't want to keep that oven door open too long. Mm-hmm. But if you only have an instant read thermometer, it is not oven proof. So you need to open the oven door, kind of pull out the ham and insert it, and you need about a good 15 to 20 seconds for the temperature to calibrate. There's a notch on the instant read thermometer, and that's where the sensor is. So you've got to make sure that it's in far enough to accurately gauge the temp. So two methods, both work just fine, but it's a good investment to have for any type of pork cookery, I would say.
Man, oh man.
I think he's enjoying it. Nice and light, it's not too heavy.
You can go ahead and do the next 3 minutes, Mary.
Well, I just want to remind everyone, if you're in town and happen to be curious about the ham brochure, be sure to stop by the office. Another look at ham, it'll be right on the front counter, or visit whammy.com. Under the Meals and Minutes feature, that's right on the home page, just click through and you'll find the honey orange glazed ham, as well as the fettuccine and ham salad. And The brochure includes both of today's recipes as well as a bounty of hints and tips that will inspire your kitchen creativity and save time in getting dinner on the table.
And people can, they can get the recipes. They can even hear the shows on the website too, as
Yeah,
well. The
I
shows
think,
that we do every month.
and I should mention that we're working on upgrading the website, so be looking for some new features down the road as well. So
Great.
appreciate that. So
All right.
good.
Very good. Well, thank you, Mary, as always.
Well, it's fun to be with you, and let's hope the Twins win tonight. Okay.
Well, let's hope so. They need to after last night. My goodness, trying to rebound after an 11-0 loss tonight. So we shall see. But Meals and Minutes, Mary Bartz, of course, sponsored by the Minnesota Pork Board. And we do this once a month, third Wednesday of every month.
Yes, and we'll be back in May. Maybe we'll be doing some grilling out on the patio.
Ooh.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you really have to wait a month before you come back?
Well, I think that's what the dotted line says. So,
All right.
okay, okay.
Oh, and by the way, I was going to tell you, too, I'll go along with that National Ham Week proclamation, too, that you brought up.
Okay, well, let's hope everybody enjoys their Easter ham on Sunday
Exactly.
and all the great plandovers, great ideas at mnpork.com.
Very good. Thank you, Mary.
Yep, bye now.
You bet. Mary Bartz joining us today. Meals and Minutes here on 860 KNUJ.